Welcome to KHM Today, your weekly resource for industry news and straight up fun. I am your host, Carolyn Orff, and today is May 16th, 2022. I know we should be broadcasting to you live on May 18th, but you guys, I have a senior in the house, and so we will be at graduation this coming Wednesday. So I thank you all for your understanding. But needless to say, we have some amazing guests coming to you today. So let's get to it. One of the many benefits of being part of Travel Leaders Network, our travel consortia here at KHM Travel Group, is the fantastic marketing tools that are available to agents. Here to give us more information on the engagement program is Director of Marketing Operations for Travel Leaders Network is Adam Kemerer. Please welcome Adam. Hi, Adam.
Hello, good morning, Carolyn, and a big congratulations on your daughter's upcoming graduation.
Thank you. That's such a mouthful, Travel Leaders Network. I mean, there's so many words there. Thanks so much for joining us today. I do appreciate it.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I'm thrilled to talk to you about Engagement, our award-winning loyalty direct marketing program.
So when we think of marketing these days, it's so easy to think of social media. That's what we do. But there is data that suggests that people still love specifically getting pieces in the mail. And I know Engagement has the email marketing piece as well, but there's data that supports that this is still a really viable and profitable program. So can you describe to us what Engagement really is all about?
Yeah, absolutely. So Engagement is loyalty direct marketing, both direct mail, beautiful coffee table type magazines, as well as consumer email, and it all integrates with social. So consumers can share the offers on social, as well as agents who send the offers to their clients can also share them on social to amplify the marketing message. In terms of direct mail, survey after survey has demonstrated and proved that people really like receiving mail at homes. And this is especially true for travel. When people, get mail at home, they're in their home environment already. They are taking the time to look through each piece. They can share them with other members of their household. Travel marketing is tactile with beautiful imagery. Pages of descriptions of itineraries, if there's a brochure, for example, and it has longevity. And it really works. Our preferred suppliers, and we represent the biggest, the best, cruise lines, tour operators, resorts, river cruises, basically every type of travel vertical. They all do their own direct mail marketing, and B, they've increased their investment steadily in engagement direct marketing because it works.
Do you find that there is better results with the in the hand piece versus anything that's emailed out? I know I'm guilty of every morning going click, 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 and get it out of my inbox. It really has to have a fantastic title for me to really stop and do that extra click.
Yeah. So with our email marketing, and our preferred suppliers do email marketing with us almost every day. So every day there's an offer, and our members can pick and choose which offers are sent to their clients. Email marketing definitely works these days. Who isn't, not far from their phone? Typically sleeping next to their phone. So they're able to get the offers no matter what they're doing. If they're filling up their car with gas or in the supermarket checkout line. In terms of subject lines, it's important to get the email open. If they're not opening it, they're not going to click on it. So with every consumer email that we send, we test a number of different subject lines. And during a test period after a few hours, the subject line that has the highest open rate, that's what's sent to the bulk of the recipients.
Really?
Yep.
Fascinating.
Every time. So you're part of it. Yeah. So that's, best in class marketing. Many marketers do this because it's so important to get the email opened.
So if you were to give some suggestions to agents of all levels as to how to get started with this program, first of all, they do have to be a part of Travel Leaders Network, which every KHM agent is, but we know that everyone listening is not part of KHM. What's the best way to get started for success?
Yeah, so the best way to get started is to visit our intranet agent universe. There's an engagement page. There's a very short form, and that will accelerate you through the process. We also have a top-notch support services team that's readily available to help guide members through the process. In terms of participating, we need access to your clients' data to be able to send offers to your clients on your behalf. We never share the data with anybody. It's very important to submit your clients' email addresses as well as their physical direct mail addresses so that your clients as well as you can benefit from our email marketing program.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Adam, but years ago, I could submit that list and you guys would like cull through it and you would come back with kind of an either updates for addresses that you were found. Sometimes you were able to tell me if perhaps,
Yeah.
the person was no longer with us. Is that a piece that still happens?
Absolutely. So, with all of the addresses that we receive, we scrub them through National Change of Address to identify any clients that have moved. We update their addresses and also provide our members with what those updates are. It doesn't sound that pleasant, but we do run on an annual basis, list through a deceased processing with social, security indicators. As well as other individuals that are not able to receive direct mail for whatever reason. So it's a great way to just keep, we do this on our members' behalf every quarter, and our members have access to what those updates are so that they can update their own list for any of their additional marketing they're doing in addition to engagement.
That's huge. I think that's such an important piece, and it's a piece that really is such a time saver for so many things. So that's a huge benefit of this program. If there was something that you would tell an agent, like besides not participating in the program, what would be a no-no?
In terms of a no-no, well, I'll talk about a yes, yes. And
Okay.
that's for agencies that participate in our email, and you all should. We have a tool called Quick Email, which is an email subscription service that you can identify what cruise lines, what tour operators you always want to support. And then whenever they have a consumer email, your clients will be included when the email is sent. And for many of our preferred suppliers, they love email because it enables them to rapidly get their offer into the marketplace,
Mhm.
into the hands of consumers. So sometimes there's not time for a traditional ordering process. So definitely participate in quick email.
Well, and I think that the key here is also that you don't like not every person in your database is going to get the same thing. That's up to you to determine. And I think it's so great because it really shows that you're listening. Like if you keep sending cruise offers to that person that has told you they do not want to cruise, then that's not the right way to market. But if they've told you certain things, you can be on the lookout for those suppliers, those particular offers,
Mhm.
and really segment your marketing smartly.
Yeah, there's over 70 preferred suppliers that participate in the program. And, with engagement, you not only pick which supplier offers are sent to your clients, but you can identify which of your clients on your list you'd like to receive each
Yeah.
offer as well. We do a preliminary identification based on what the household targeting is and which clients we think are best matched to the offer, but the member agency always has the final say on who is sent what.
Do you
So
ever
you're
think from a marketing perspective, is it a bad idea to ever send something that like my cruise client that says I'm never going to cruise? Is it a bad idea to just send and say, I saw this and thought of you? Or do you really want to say, don't do that because it doesn't show that you're listening? Or do you just throw it out there and maybe it'll stick?
I think, people don't always go on the exact same type of trip year after year. So I think sending an offer to your clients with a message saying, "Hey, I saw this, I thought of you, let's talk." I think
Yeah.
that's a great idea. You want to generate dialogue. The member agencies, you guys are the experts on selling, so just generate the dialogue with your clients, and then you can close them on the sale.
Yeah. It's always a fine line because I want to make sure that they know I've been listening. But at the same time, sometimes there's just that little word that they say that makes me think that this might work over this. And so I feel like I want to offer it, but then they're nope, 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 nope. So Who knows,
Safe.
right?
Yeah, it could be your clients, they've sailed the Caribbean regularly, but maybe they've never sailed Alaska or, Europe.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time and for being here. You guys, if you're part of KHM, you can go into Agent Universe and learn more about this program. It
Yep.
really is a fantastic benefit to Travel Leaders Group. And if you're looking to up your marketing game in 2022, this is one very reasonably priced way to do it. So thanks so much for being here.
My pleasure, Carolyn. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you. You guys, it is always so fun to travel, but one of the pieces of travel that is always specifically challenging for me is there's so many wonderful things to eat and drink that sometimes you just can't hold back. But our next guest has some tips on how we can do this so we don't come home from vacation guilt-ridden. We come home from vacation feeling refreshed and rejuvenated. So please welcome back to the show, David Pritchard, Director of Health and Wellbeing for Apple Leisure Group. Hi, David. Oh, we can't hear you. We were working on some technical difficulties. Let's go ahead and see if we can bring our next guest on. Glinessa Gailliard is an agent with KHM Travel Group, but she's also an attorney. So she is going to share with us her thoughts on some of the ways we can protect ourselves as travel advisors. So please welcome Glinessa to KHM today. Hi, Glinessa.
Hello and good morning / afternoon.
We don't know what
Good day.
time it is.
I always thought it's good day because you can be very safe in that
Good
way.
day.
Yes.
So I am so glad that you're here. You came on several months ago. You did a FAM report for us, and we had a conversation about your other career that you have. And I found the two so fascinating that you have kind of merged these two into, another business. And you have some very specific thoughts on how agents should be protecting themselves. We love our job. We love our clients, but there are ways that maybe we want to think about, or verbiage we want to think about adding to our communication with our clients. So can you share with us, first of all, the importance of understanding terms and conditions?
Well, definitely. And that's really the foundation of any business, whether you're in travel or doing anything else, is what are your terms and conditions? What are the rules that you are going to abide by and you're expecting your clients to abide by when you guys do business together? Like I said, it's the foundation. If you think of your business as a house, you may have separate rooms. Some of the rooms, you have a bedroom, your kitchen, what have you. You may have an office, you may have a den, depending on your layout and your square footage. But every house has to have a foundation. The same thing with your travel business. Your foundation is your terms and conditions. And there you will dictate what it's going to be like to work with you. And the customer has an opportunity to decide whether at that moment, after reviewing your terms and conditions, whether or not you guys will be a good fit.
So how is this different? Because we're used to clicking that little box that, says, essentially our clients understand the terms and conditions of the booking. How is that different from what you're speaking of?
Well, your terms and conditions should be in a place where they're easily accessible by a prospective client or a current client. Most, if not all of us, travel agents, excuse me, excuse me, most of us, not all of us as travel agents have a website. That is the best place for them to be posted. And it's also the easiest because then as you communicate with your clients, preferably via email or other electronic means, you can just easily link to your terms and conditions. That goes to that checkbox that you were just talking about, referring to, because they have to have an opportunity to read them. But it's always best to have just like if you go to the Nike store and they have their terms and conditions and their refund policy and all of that stuff up front. Same thing. We as travel agents need to have our policies up front and be transparent. You don't want to have someone in the middle of the transaction say, well, I didn't know, I didn't understand. You're going to have that anyway. However, if you are as transparent as you can be, it's a lot harder for those arguments to stand if there's ever an issue between you and a client.
So to be clear, what you're talking about is the agent's terms and conditions. When we are in the middle of a booking and we're checking that box on behalf of the client,
Right.
those are the terms and conditions to the supplier.
Right. And those are the terms and the conditions. And see, these are how your documents all work together symbiotically. So your terms and conditions are your terms and conditions. However, the supplier terms and conditions can be different, but you don't know that until you're actually at the proposal stage, where you, as a travel agent, you've qualified your client, figured out where they want to go, how long they want a vacation for, what their budget is, and you found the perfect the perfect itinerary using a supplier, or you may use several suppliers depending. Usually for AI to the Caribbean, it's one or two suppliers, but if you're going to Europe or any of those other cross the pond destinations, you may use several suppliers in order to bring together this package. And all of those suppliers have different terms and conditions. So when you present that to your client, you're going to present the terms and conditions that are different than what your terms and conditions state. So for instance, if you're saying that it's non-refundable and the supplier is saying that you can refund it after 14 days, you want to put that in the proposal. Yeah, it's generally non-refundable. However, in this instance, for this specific part of your itinerary, if you cancel within 14 days of traveling or utilizing the services, you can get your money back.
Okay. So are there pieces that you want to make sure that you have in there? Like, should there be pieces in there just like the supplier pieces, or is it really just how you run, how you work, maybe refund or cancellation policies? Is there anything in there that you would say, even if you didn't seek an attorney to do this and just wanted to put together one page, are there 2 to 3 pieces that you would say absolutely make sure you've got
Of your
included?
terms and conditions document?
Mm-hmm.
For your agency, yeah. First, you should identify who you are. Who you are, where you're located. You should also identify your target audience. Do you handle group vacations? If you don't, then your terms and conditions shouldn't reflect anything dealing with groups. You just do. If you do just Disney, some of our agents just do Disney. That's all they do all day, every day. Or they do cruises all day, every day. Your terms and conditions should reflect what you do. The best way that I say, it's really not 2 or 3 pieces that should be in your terms and conditions. Terms and conditions are to identify pain points that you may have with your communication or your transaction with your client. The best way to, if you're not going to use an attorney, the best way to draft your terms and conditions is to sit down and put yourself in the shoes of your client. Go through your qualifying process, go through your booking process, and find out ways where there's weaknesses. And those are going to be in your terms and conditions. For instance, I'm coming to you for an all-inclusive in Cancun. As a person, how do they contact me? They make a calendar event via Calendly. Well, what happens if they're a no-show? You see what I'm saying? And then there's a pain point, because that's a waste of your time. Are you going to offer them another opportunity to come to the table? Are you going to say, okay, you get one no-show, and then after that you have to pay for a consultation? How does that work for you in your business? Okay. Next part is, okay, they come, you had a great conversation, and they want to go to a resort that is not that's on your do not sell list. How do you handle that? So those are just different things where you can identify pain points where you now know how to draft your terms and conditions around that and how that works. And roommate situations, always the biggest one.
Oh, God.
Always the huge one.
Girls groups. Oh, yes. There's always at the top. This is what happens if someone cancels.
Right.
It's so painful sometimes. As you were talking, I kept thinking about groups.
Mm-hmm.
Groups, you have that group leader, and that's that initial conversation, right? They're the person, and so I might
Right.
send it to them, right? These are my terms and conditions. But it's so important to make sure that ends up going to every single person that
Exactly.
books. And I think of a bride
Exactly.
and a groom. Bride and groom should both sign. So
Yes,
one isn't responsible over the other if the wedding doesn't happen.
that's right.
Um, so really it's, maybe married couples, you don't have to do that, or but certainly for people that are traveling together, but maybe separate households, you
Right.
want to make sure that everyone has
Exactly.
these things so they understand what's going to happen.
And that's important to have the right technology to back you up as well.
Mhm.
So when you're sending out emails, you're sending out proposals, and this is again another reason why you want to have that link to your website, because you can set a lot of these things up as canned emails,
Mhm.
or things of that nature, where you have a link to your terms and conditions to your website. For me, I use TravelJoy as a CRM, and for every payment someone makes, they have to sign electronically saying that they accept my terms and conditions. And then if there's any terms and conditions related to that trip that are related to the supplier, that's added there as well.
Mhm.
And they sign and say that they accept that. So, when it comes down, if there's a chargeback or the client wants to cancel and they say, I didn't know that. Now I have documentation that I can easily pull, PDF, and send as email or print, however I wish to do, that says, look, every time you came and made a payment, you said that you attested by signing that you understood the terms and conditions.
Mhm.
I can't make you read them, but my job is to present them to you.
Yes. That's my favorite phrase. And we just finished our boot camp event a couple weeks ago. And my favorite phrase
I need to
is,
get the boot camp.
on everything, I have received, read, and understand the
Right.
terms and conditions, because those are three different words and
Yeah.
they mean three different things. And just receiving them, what are we doing? Yep, I received them. But if you didn't really read them, and that's not our job, but it makes me feel better.
Mhm.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Sure.
As an attorney, you have likely had these things in place since the start of your travel business, but many of us have not. I have seen an influx in this conversation, in this dialogue around personal terms and conditions, in addition to not necessarily versus supplier terms and conditions, really increase in the last 6-8 months. Why do you think that is?
I think COVID brought to the forefront a lot of holes that a lot of people have in their business. Being a travel advisor is challenging in and of itself. You have to learn the different destinations. There's so many different suppliers out there, and getting to know that part of the business and how to really reserve, how to qualify clients, how to market. There's so many things that you have to do in order to make your business successful. And sometimes we don't recognize the importance of making sure you have your documents in order. So then when things happen, you really don't, you don't have that foundation to lean on.
Mhm.
And with COVID, that brought all of that to the forefront,
Right.
especially when dealing with suppliers, because we had an expectation. You can't travel. We expect to get their money back. And suppliers are like, no.
Mhm.
you know Understanding the force majeure provisions, because that's the provision people just gloss over. Force majeure, what is that? And so, but now, as travel agents and travel advisors, I'm pretty sure that's been through COVID. You talk about force majeure, people
Mhm.
know what you're talking about now.
Mhm.
And it's just one of those things that were not that important, because for the most part, travel went on without a hitch.
Right. Right.
We had smaller things like Zika and SARS, which were basically under control, where COVID, we're still dealing with it 2 years later.
Mhm.
And it's
Mhm.
still a global phenomenon. And so that's not as controlled as the other ones were. And, people were thinking, oh, we're going to get through it like we did the other ones. This was different.
Right. Right.
And so now people are just understanding the importance of making sure that they have that foundation in writing and having a strong foundation in case things happen.
Yes. Yes. Because we can't assume that we're going to go back to when COVID started and it was, we're going to give credit, we're going to do this, we should be able to do this. We are not in that position anymore financially for everyone to be received refunds or credits or future travel. It's going to be all about read the terms and conditions. They apply regardless.
Right.
So, well, I thank you so much for your time and your talent and your knowledge. It's so wonderful. We hope you'll come back and share more of it on another episode.
Thank you.
With that microphone. Come on, sing a little before you leave.
No singing. I'm horrible, but that's the mic.
Clearly that's missing from the show. Come on, guys. Let's see if we can make that happen.
We got to make it happen. and you know, it's all about the sparkles. Sparkles make the day go round.
They absolutely do.
Always brighten the day.
Well, thank you so much. Let's go ahead and see if we can bring David back, if he's got some audio for us.
How about now?
Yay!
All right.
Yay!
Yes.
I don't know what was going on there. You know, the internet's a crazy thing, but we're so glad.
People didn't want to hear about eating healthy on vacation. So we need someone in the back.
I know. So, okay. So I am not one that goes and needs to try everything. But I will say, you know, I definitely drink more than when I'm there. I drink different things than what my body's used to. You were just at Dreams Onyx, right? You're the director of Health and Wellbeing, but I'm sure you still indulge in moderation. But how can we enjoy all of the fun of vacation and not come back feeling cruddy?
Right. And so I get this question a lot, especially with people who started some health and wellness routine for vacation, right? And they're like, I don't want to fall off. I still want to enjoy all the great things that this destination has. And here's what I say. It really, especially after traveling last week, I had some delays, and I look at this in a couple different phases. The first phase is the travel phase, is to get to your destination. And it's really about preparation and planning. And so many times, you know those early morning flights, we're not eating, we're tired, we're fatigued. We get to that destination and right away we just want to go crazy and start drinking and eating. And here's the thing I want you to enjoy your vacation. I don't want you to be in your room tired and fatigued and paying for what you did. So pace, right? So stay hydrated at the airport. Number one, water is your best friend. So stay hydrated prior to you arrival, and maybe come prepared with some snack bars, some healthy snacks. If you can get something to eat at the airports, that's always a bonus if you have time. We don't always have that time. So we land and we go. So once you get to the resort, listen, I want you to enjoy all the great things that resort, that destination has, but pace yourself, okay? Pace yourself. I've seen so many times where someone says, I've had the best 3 days of vacation. In the last 4 days, I just feel like crap, So I would just say, listen, number one, plan. Look at the menus around the restaurants and ask yourself, okay, what are the things that I really want to try, especially if you're in a new destination, say Mexico or Jamaica or Costa Rica. There's so many great, and I was just in the Dominican Republic and I had tried all of the amazing Dominican food that they had. I want to embrace the culture. I don't want to have a cheeseburger. I'm sorry. I can get that back home.
It's so funny you say that because one of my favorite things is French fries by the pool. I love French fries by the pool.
Okay, I'll give you that one. That one isn't bad. But, really expand your horizons and really plan and say, what do I want to have? What are my indulgences, right? And I try to think of one a day, right? I really do. I mean, I eat a really good breakfast. I mean, listen, I don't make omelets at home. I don't have the time. It's a smoothie. It's a quick oatmeal. So when I go to a vacation, I love that I get to order an omelet, right? And that omelets are very healthy and very good for you. There's, so, start your morning off good with tons of fruits, right? There's You're in a destination,
Yep.
eat their local fruit. I mean, I had mango and cantaloupe and watermelon. It was delicious. And again, lots of water, lots of juice. So then you're ready and charged for your day. Maybe it's an excursion you're going on. And remember, excursions, I love excursions, but a lot of times you're you're in a car or a transfer for a good part of time. You're not maybe going to have readily available food and water, so bring water with you. The resorts are always great with packing stuff up for you if you need it. So you got to plan for that. And then you go to lunch, and listen, the lunches are normally grilled, and they're normally fish and chicken and so many great things. I try to stay away from the buffets just because I'm at a destination where I can order food. So I want to try to get all that experience there. And then dinner time is typically where I kind of maybe go off the beaten path a little bit, all right? And I will French cuisine, Mexican, Italian. Listen, we're on vacation. Enjoy yourself. And I typically then indulge at that meal is my typical indulgence. And listen, you're going to be fine. Nothing's going to happen to you. People are so worried about coming back. Maybe they gained a few pounds. But I always tell them, if you gained a few pounds, were there good memories behind it?
Right.
Don't have regrets. Enjoy it. But the number one thing that I want you to have on vacation is energy. And I want you to feel good. I don't want you to be held up in your room because you're paying for too much drinking or too much eating.
Well, and I know I've found that even if I do gain those pounds while on vacation, the minute you go back to your routine, which is, I'm very methodical about what I eat and when I eat, just because it's a little bit of the OCD that I eat the same thing every day. It helps me stay focused. But I find as soon as I'm back in my normal environment and you're drinking, it comes right off. Right? Because you're not doing that every day. It just kind of comes off and it's like you started over. So, but I will say when I'm there, I really do try to eat the fish, but it's the little things. I'm not a dessert person, but I'll have a chips and guacamole now. Or, let me just have those French fries. So, or the margarita, that's lots of sugar in the mix. So those are the things that I struggle with. And I am not one to join water aerobics or the workout class on the beach. It's not happening.
Me neither.
And I'll tell you, the run on the beach before I join a class on the beach.
Yes. Well, and again, the resorts have done such an incredible job with catering to the active lifestyle, the healthy lifestyle, where drinks are more consciously created around lower caloric intake, food. You can go way off, or you can stay very focused, or you can be very, very organized. I mean, if people come in there and they're gluten-free, I mean, all these destinations now have separate menus and they have ways to cater to all of those different. The one resort that I was at a couple of weeks ago, the new Breathless that was opened up in Cancun, Breathless Soul, they had a paleo menu, and I've never seen that before.
Wow.
Where it was really high protein, obviously, and lots of vegetables. And so the resorts are catching on because more customers are asking for it. And the other thing I would tell you is, especially, you're going into a new destination, maybe you've never been there, explore it, right? I mean, the resorts do such a great job by having bicycles there, walking paths, walks on the beach. Yeah, maybe not the morning yoga or the water aerobics, but there's so many other things that are self-directed that you can do on your own, so that you can feel good about then reading the book on the beach or the pool and relaxing. That's not going to hurt you.
Yep. Before I let you go, one thing I will add is the food trucks. I don't know if you've seen them pop up on resorts, but the food trucks with the grills are, I mean, that's where that freshness comes in, and it's not slapped on a grill with oil. It's just right there. It's beautiful. And it really is filling what I think was a void before, was just that really fresh vegetables, grilled, fresh fish. Really, really fun too. And they pop up all over the resort.
They do. They always are around. I love it.
Yeah.
And what's really great too is I love talking to the chefs, whether it's the head chef or just the other chefs that support him or her. they are so available to tell you what's on the menu and that it was freshly caught and all this. I mean, I've had so many great conversations, and I'll ask them, I say, does many customers, guests ask you? They're like, no, we would love to talk about our menus, and we'd love to talk about where our food comes from. A lot of especially fruits and vegetables are from local farms, and they're all grown in that area and are labeled. They're not labeled organic because that's not necessarily there, but they'll tell you what farms that these foods were from. It's a great experience. So my biggest advice to you is, I want you to enjoy vacation. I want you to have so much fun, but don't overwhelm yourself, right? And pace. Keep hydrated. Don't overeat, because the food is there. That's easy to do, but get out there and enjoy everything that these resorts have for you, and you'll come back feeling great. I promise.
That week is not the week to decide to do like some strict diet or pull something out of your diet. That's the week after. This is finding balance and moderation, and overall a healthy lifestyle. Like we always say that it's not about the diet because that sounds like it's a snapshot in time. It's how can you maintain a healthy lifestyle and enjoy life?
Yeah. And that doesn't have to stop just because you're going on a vacation. I mean, the most important thing is you're going to get more rest than you probably do back home. You're going to recharge your batteries. You're going to feel really good. And food can either help you with that or it can hurt you with that. And so I wanted to help you. And even if, my rule is I love tequila. I love tequila. So when I'm out with my colleagues at various conferences, I'm like, here's our rule. If we're going to do a shot, we have to have water in between. You know what I mean? So it's a shot and then water. And then you wake up in the morning and you're like, okay, I don't have as bad of a headache as I could have had. And you just, it's all, again, it's about that moderation, because it's easy to get, really juiced up by being there, and you can get ahead of yourself, and that's where you can hurt yourself.
Yeah. Well, David, you have made me want to end this conversation and go book a vacation.
Right. Please do.
So thank you so much for your time and your information today. We're always looking for ways to enjoy vacation, give some advice to our clients so that they feel good about their trips and their travels. And we just thank you so much for your insight.
You got it. Thank you so much. Be well.
Thank you. You guys, thanks for being with us today. Thank you to all our sponsors, especially Apple Leisure Group Vacations, for being our overall show sponsor. We have a great show next week where we celebrate National Wine Day. So we will see you here next Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern on KHM Travel Group's YouTube channel. Thanks so much, you guys, and have a great day.